Hi guys! So today we are going to be doing an art project that is inspired by Claude Monet's water lilies. We're actually going to be doing the bridge with water lilies. So the first thing that I am going to be using is a pencil, and I am very lightly going to sketch out on my paper where I would like my bridge to be. I'm also going to do the top part of the bridge where the handrail would be. And his bridge also has a middle section, so I'm going to make sure to include that as well. I'm also going to make some spindles that are going to go up and down. I'm also, with my pencil, I'm going to outline where there might be some trees or bushes kind of falling down into here. I'm not making anything be super detailed yet. This is just kind of outlining where I want stuff to be. He's got water lilies down here in this part, so if you take a look at this picture, which is actually given to me by one of my students and her mom, this is a picture of Monet's bridge with water lilies. So as you can see, there's the three parts of the bridge there. I also did this part here on my drawing to show where the shadow area is. I'm also going to add some shadow areas for some of these other sections in here, just so that I kind of have an idea of where it is. So I know that there's one little bushy area over here, so I'm just going to messily draw right there. I know that there's a dark area in the water about right here. I also know that there's some darkness down here, so I just want to make sure that I remember that this is where my dark areas are going to be. And then I'm going to use a white crayon. I have just a regular Crayola. I don't have one of the ones that is a washable Crayola because they don't work quite as well when you're doing a wax resist. I'm going to take my white crayon and I'm going to press firmly, following the lines of my bridge. And sometimes I break crayons. That happens, but guess what? Broken crayons still color. Alright, so I'm going to follow the lines that I drew with pencil. I'm also going to go down on the spindles. There's also another spindle that kind of would show for the other side of the bridge. So I'm going to go ahead and add just an extra little depth right there. Down here in my water, I'm just going to go a couple of little tiny poofs with my white crayon here. I know you can't really see them right now, but once we start getting the watercolor on here, then it's going to show up, and these are just going to be a couple of little spots where maybe there might be a water lily or two. I'm not making them very big and I'm not making them detailed, I'm just kind of messily going on there. Now with my watercolor palette, I have one of these ones. This also is a Crayola watercolor palette. This one has both of the sides on it. I like these ones better because it gives me more color options. I am going to start by using my big flat brush, and I'm going to use yellow. I always like to start with the lighter undertones first and then layer the darker colors on top, because it's really hard if you start with the darker colors to add that light area that you kind of sort of need. So, alright. I'm going to start up here in my tree area. Make sure that you really rub it around in your watercolors good so you get some good color saturation in there. And I'm just going to messily kind of go along my tree area. It's okay if I get it down over my bridge area. Not a big deal. We will be adding other colors on there. I'm going to go ahead and get the green color on my watercolors here. And I'm going to go ahead and overlay that on top of my yellow-green color. I'm just kind of tapping it in here. I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of blue, and I'm going to put it up here in the tree line where the sky might be peeking through between these trees here. Again, I just want quick brush strokes. I don't want any serious details. And I'm going to use a narrow paintbrush, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in the blue. And I'm just going to follow this line that I drew with the crayon. You go ahead and throw a little bit of indigo in there too. Remember, this is Impressionism, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and let it dry for a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and bring the watercolor back. I've let it dry for the entire time that I was doing that drawing there. So, open up my watercolors again. Open up my pencil. Alright, I am now going to use a paintbrush that is slightly flat, not quite as thin as my other pointed one. It's kind of got a flatter tip to it like this. I am going to come in here probably, I guess, with my green. And I'm going to make it look like there's some water lilies down here just by doing some quick little dabs. I like using the watercolors because I can let it dry in between times, and then I can come back and I can add more watercolor with different details, and it just gives it so much more depth. It gives it the appearance or illusion of movement, texture. So that's really fun about watercolors. I'm actually going to use a little bit of this red violet color here too. Just to kind of add some extra color variations in here. I'm going to add some more blue to my sky. Alright, I'm going to take my skinny little pointed paintbrush. I'm going to use this blue-green color. And over here there was some kind of like spiky grass stuff growing. Just going to kind of put some up here. It looked like some of it was kind of coming up over the bridge. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use some red, again with my skinny little paintbrush. And I am just going to make some little blobby marks to be the flowers of my lily pads. I'm first doing it on these white areas that I used my crayon with. And I'm also just going to make some without the crayon area. I'm also going to use a little bit of white just to add a little bit of a highlight to some of these little flowers here. I might actually even just use the little bit of white that's on there to make a couple more flowers. And I think the bottom of these bushes here needs a little bit of brown. So I'm just going to make some little wispies. With the brown. Come over on this side and do the same thing. And there you have it. That is my version of the Japanese bridge with water lilies. Thanks for watching. I hope you have fun creating your own art.